she is. There she is.
Shalom.
How are you?
I am doing better. I always love when I get to see your face and everybody else. Like, I know I don't get to see their faces, but
Oh well, I
just
mean, just to come together in this
yes,
community, it's a
yes,
beautiful thing to come
community
in this
time
community.
for sure.
Y'all, it is Mental Health World Day. Like, how amazing is that? Y'all already know how we do on this Survivors Conversation. We talk about everything. Mental health is so real, it's so important, and it's so in our faces every single day. So today, of course, we're in honor of that. We're going to talk about mental health, but we're also going to talk about transition because guess what? As survivors, it's a transitioning process in dealing with whole mental health awareness and the whole physio and psychological ailments of it. It's a transition. So before we get started, I actually looked up the definition of transition that I want to give you. And what that is the process or period of changing from one state or condition to another. So how great is that definition as we're talking about mental health awareness, like to be able to process that in our brain, to be able to embrace the situation as stroke survivors. We are in a transition. Once we became a survivor, we transitioned from this life that we once knew to this life that we are now learning how to know and learning how to live, how to process. And in this process of processing, when you think about mental health, of course, I got to give you the definition from that. That is a person's emotional, psychological, and social well-being. And I want to stop right there because think about stroke survivors, our survivors' conversations, the things we talk about every week around here, every day. It's our mental, it's our psychological, it's our emotional, because as stroke survivors, we go through these things that we like to call emotional roller coasters and trying to figure out how to live life, how to live life the best, how to learn, how to love life again, all of the above. So these things are guys, these are prevalent dealing with mental health awareness. So we as stroke survivors, and so many of you that are not survivors, but because we are beautiful stroke survivors, so we as stroke survivors, we are the canvas of mental health awareness, trying to figure out how to balance our emotional, trying to figure out how to balance our psychological, how to figure out how to balance our social well-being of living a quote-unquote normal lifestyle, of living a better lifestyle, of living, period. So we are dealing with this every single day. So that's why it's so important and so permanent for us to talk about and learn ways to live a healthier, better, happier life in this process of transition as survivors. And what's the best way to do it? To talk about the things that we did to help us with our depression, help us with our bad days, help us with our days that we were just so we don't know the days of, and it's so many days that we have of the unknown, and I like to call it the ones we don't know is the unknown process of what's next, of why am I so happy right now, and then 3 minutes later I'm sad, and 3 minutes later I don't understand what that feeling is. It's all of these things, guys. And I like to chat my mouth at the beginning. I'm gonna toss the mic to my sister right there to let her see what she has to say about this beautiful day.
I appreciate that. And I'm glad we're talking about it because, yes, Greg, in the beginning, I know they were so focused on your physical. You know what I mean? They're so focused on that, I don't feel like they told me about the depression and all this anxiety. Like it was very just focused on, hey, your eyes crossed, your balance is off. So, and I want to just share because I know we do have a lot of people early in your recovery. I was so freaking grateful that I was alive. I was like toxically positive. I was making everybody else feel comfortable. Like my mom's like, I can't see out of my freaking eye and I'm making jokes. I'm like, it's not a big deal. I'm a drunken pirate, whatever. And then when I got diagnosed with depression, I straight up would whisper the word like it was a naughty word. So I say that and I share that because I'm comfortable talking about it now because if I can just help one person not feel so alone and crazy, like I just felt like, how am I, quote, better? My eyes okay. But now I feel like I'm a burden to everyone. Like I just feel like everybody wants me to be back to normal and healthy. And they're like, are you still complaining? Like, oh, you still have headaches? Oh God. And like, works like did you enjoy your day off? And I'm like, I freaking was at doctor's. I feel like a human like pincushion. I'm not happy. Like I'm so angry and upset. And it was all of those feelings, but like I could not even talk about it or recognize it. Like I was just like, you should be so grateful you're alive. And I was. So I'm sharing and I just verbal got that all out because I know some people see me now and you see the happiness. It's because I have a lot of tools and I've worked really hard, but also it is an emotional roller coaster. You can go through and see me crying and, having a hard time because that's the biggest thing I've learned. And that's why we say roller coaster, is because I've learned I can be just as happy and just as sad. And I need to just ride that roller coaster because I'm feeling really down. I know I will go back up again. So if you're in that down moment right now, hold on. You do need to probably do some things. And what biggest thing I'm going to tell you is probably get some rest. Give yourself some rest, get a little nap in there because most of us are not getting enough sleep. And I can tell you, nobody feels great when they are really tired. So I know I just shared a whole bunch, and I'm sure Tracey picked some things out of there.
Oh, you already know. This is how I do it. That's what I love. So, but first I'm going to acknowledge what Erin said. It's absolutely not enough is said how mentally hard it is. So much is emphasized on the physical aspect. And that's a great thing. And I actually wanted to screenshot that because it's a great topic to actually bring about. So while we're talking about this World Mental Health Day, that's it, because we deal with the emotional, the psychological, and the socialness of trying to live now. And people look at us on the outside and say, oh, well, you can walk, you can move, you can talk, you can. So what do you mean you still deal with these issues? Or say, for instance, me, and I told y'all probably a couple weeks ago, I don't express it as much. So for me to not express it and then everybody looks like, oh, she has no issues. Then when I say, yes, there's depression. Yes, there's everyday pain. Yes, there's everyday the emotional roller coaster. But I just choose to live. I live out loud about having this community to express y'all that I do, but I don't live out loud by walking around. So it's different ways to say, I'm not a person that walk around every day complaining about it. I'm a person that walk around and thanking God at the same time. So I thank God for the ability to be able to deal with all the things that I'm dealing with and to still be able to process, to still be able to move about, to still be able to find ways to smile in spite of all of the issues that I deal with as a stroke survivor. So I find the beauty in it, is basically what I'm saying. I find the beauty in it. And as I said last week, I remember our conversation, we were saying some of us may choose to say, hey, I don't see the beauty in the fact that I'm still healing, the fact that I go through depression, the fact that I'm in pain every day. I see the beauty in it because at the end of the day, I know where I was day one of my stroke. I know that coma. I know when I woke up and the doctor was like, oh, it's paralyzed, you may not walk again. You definitely ain't going to be in the gym. All the nonsense. And I said, okay, if I would have allowed that to fuel me, and I said fuel, F-U-E-L, if I would have allowed that to fuel me, guys, I would still be in a wheelchair. I would still be not walking. I would not be in the gym, and I would not be able to do the things that I love to do but I chose to say, okay, thank you, doctor, for your medical textbook statistics. I'm going to show you that this is not the end of my story, and I'm not going to allow you to write my story. And even with I'm saying that, I feel like I need to let y'all know, for stroke survivors, do not allow someone else to write your story. Do not allow someone else's opinion or the way they look at things, because they don't really know how you're processing or how to help you to say, oh, well, she's fine. She doesn't have any issues, or he or she doesn't do this. Because of the simple fact they've been in our shoes. And I'll tell you, and I say it every single time, I don't wish this on my worst enemy, but I thank God for my and what he has me go through to be a part of this beautiful community. But the thing is, I find my strength that God has been walking with me every single day with this whole transition, with this whole process of learning how to cope with mental health and learning how to cope with the well-being, the emotional growth, all of these things. And so, again, it takes me to the topic of today is World Mental Health Day. That I'm going to throw the mic back to Tawnie and to you all to understand, how do you handle your mental health being of this emotional, psychological well-being of trying to live with this new transition? That's the question, guys. I choose to live by faith. I choose to live by faith knowing that God has showed me his mighty sovereign power from getting me from completely paralyzed to where I am now, to be able to speak again, to be able to move my body. That's why I'm so cartoon character with the hands, and I'm so, because of, guess what? I remember I couldn't move my hands. I remember I couldn't raise up. I remember I couldn't open. So all of these things. And then even sometimes when I'm talking to people, they be like, "Why are you doing all those facial expressions?" And I had to look at videos where they like, when Tawnie, we laugh because I'm going to say this, guys. So when we go to post a video at the end, I'm always looking for a still shot that neither one of us are making a face. We're always making some crazy face, but there's laughter in that, guys, because guess what? Right during my stroke, I had the droopy face in this whole level. It wasn't moving, so I can laugh at the crazy faces where I might do one of because before I can laugh at that to strengthen this left side of my face. That was a tool that I used to get through this transition. So it's so many ways that I choose to do things.
I choose to smile and get through it because of the fact that I'm like, this was a second chance. I am, no matter even when I'm in the most pain, anything like that, I'm like, I still get the chance to get better. Like, this is temporary. I will get better. Like Tracey said, from the very beginning, I can go back and be like, wow, I see how much further I've progressed. And so for me, that's why it is. I love to smile. I like to say, I try to not unpack and stay there. I get sad, I get angry, I get frustrated just like everybody else. But I try to just not unpack and stay there as much. And that's really true the first brain surgery and then now the second brain surgery because I'm just like, I feel like I got like a third chance now. So I'm like, I don't want to spend it being so angry and so upset. Like when I lost my phone up at the lake, like my friend Annie was up there and she said every time I walked away, everyone in my family was like, are you sure? Like, when's she gonna freak out? Like, when's she gonna flip? Cause like that's her phone, that's her job. Like she lost content, like she lost things. And I was like, guys, I'm upset, but like it's a thing. Like I'm like, I got a second chance at life. And I was like, whatever, I'm not going to ruin my weekend with you guys. I'm not going to let it ruin today. So I just feel like I try and take myself back to that. So, but mental health, I think it's important to know that. Like, I now also know my signs. I can tell, like, I'm like, ooh, you're hiding, you're not responding to your messages. Like, you're kind of, you're not going live as much, you're doing da da da. And so I acknowledge those things. And before, when I used to like not tell anyone or talk about it, I feel like now I know that it's important to talk about that, to ask for help. And like if you're one of those people and I know, and maybe actually I don't know, I need to stop saying that. I don't know how you feel, okay? But I'm just going to tell you how I feel. Especially after losing so much independence, I feel like in your healing journey, once you get it back, you develop this hyper independence thing where you're like, no, no, I've got it. Like you reflexively say, I'm fine, I got it. And I am now really working on that. And maybe it will help you to hear it this way. I Do you love helping other people? Like I know me and Tracey obviously do. So I'm like, I know how good I feel after I help someone. If I don't let other people help me back, like I'm robbing them of that feeling. Like who else needs to feel like I'm so helpful I got to remind Tawnie. Like I used to get so mad at everyone telling me to take a nap and to slow down. Like I was like, I got a second chance at life. I can't slow down. And if you're in that phase and chapter of your life, cool, good. I'm just telling you, like, I love that I'm getting now more to a phase of realizing like I'm permanent. I get to be here. I do live life a little bit more, hey, this is my second chance, so take it or leave it. But also, I'm not so like, I guess, hard on myself, maybe in a way. And I think that's important in your transition, like we were saying, as you transition in your healing, to know like what needs to happen at the different spaces.
Oh, thank you. I didn't even know you can do that. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you. Someone just purchased the bag. We truly appreciate you. We're still learning how to do everything, but I did have to take a nugget, and that was stoic smooches. We have to take nuggets from what Tawnie said. Because that right there, when you said I had to learn how to, if I'm such a helper and I feel great with helping other people. And it's funny, actually, my therapist said, Tracey, if there's a balance here, we were just having a conversation. She said, so you're always, it's hard to hear. It's hard to hear.
Oh, I'm asking over there. You keep talking.
Okay.
I'm figuring out what someone said.
So there's a balance. So she was saying there's a balance. Like you're always lending a helping hand, but then when you say you'll put up your hand and say you don't need help. It made me realize how you just said it, Tawnie. It was like this practice of when I did not have my independence. Now that I have it, I'm like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But then to turn around, because she switched it and said, well, how do you feel when you help them? I feel great. You are robbing them of being able to, and it's literally, this is maybe only 3 weeks ago, and I'm five years post-stroke, guys, so that's why I keep telling y'all. So it's more things as I'm learning through this process and this transition, that this year 5 has been more of my year 1, really learning myself and learning how to really truly cope with the things that I'm doing and dealing with as a stroke survivor, to be able to learn how to accept help, to be able to learn how to, as much as I love to give, I have to learn how to accept it at the same time. And really, guys, that's a part of healing. And it's a part of the healing. And it's been a beautiful process of learning how to do that. And then it helping them through, and then being able to see that, hey, me accepting their help doesn't mean I'm back paralyzed, doesn't mean I'm back enabled, doesn't mean I'm back not being able to do it. It's a process of saying, hey, I'm with you. I'm with you. So as we're saying, hey, we're a community, we're with you, we have to, and it's for me. I had to learn how to, my community is not just here in social media. My community is everyone around me, my loved ones and caretakers that are like, hey, I got you. And we laugh and joke with my family, like, yo, Lefty ain't working today, or you want me to do it? I would quickly be like, no, I'll figure it out. But now I'll be like, yeah, it ain't working. Open this or do whatever, or it's tired. So it was a process, guys, of me learning how to accept that. But being able to do it now, it's a beautiful thing. And as Tawnie said, for me to be such a giver and being to stop somebody else from having that same feeling that I have for me helping, it's not fair. So I'm just now learning how to appreciate it more, and I have been more open to it. And it's a beautiful thing at the end of the day.
I'm so glad you talk about that, because I think it's actually really funny how many of us are that way. I feel like we went through this really dark thing. So a lot of us are servant hearts. We're just like, I just want to give, 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 give. And we don't take it back as much. And it's actually funny. That's what I've been working on. And what's really helped me also is I'm just trying to be as good a friend as I am to everyone else. And like half the time I'm like, and my friends have helped flip me that. They were like, could you be nice to yourself for a moment? They're like, would you ever say any of that stuff to like us? And I'm like, ooh, no, I would never be that hard. Like, I still have on my mirror, I have a picture of me when I'm younger, so that I can be like, we do not yet need to yell at that young little girl in there. Like, we are reparenting, because I feel like early in my recovery, it did help. Like, I know some people are like, I'm not motivated like by that, but everybody who told me like, you can't do that, or no, I was like, oh, watch me, I'm gonna show you. Oh, doctor, I'll never walk my dogs, both of them again. Now watch me walk both of them and go live. So like, I still want to have that passion, but I'm also learning that I can be kind to myself. Like, I'm really trying to work on not saying, oh, I was lazy and I did nothing today. It's like, you were resting, and that's actually a lot. So I don't know who else needed to hear that in their journey, that it's going to change.
Oh no, I think I'm gonna take it and say we all needed to hear that, because at some time I would still be like, oh, I feel so horrible, like I didn't do anything today. But in reality, Tracey, this transition, as we're talking about today, this transition, your body is still healing. Your body is still trying to go through this whole mental, psychological, and physical aspect of this new transition that you're in. So it's okay, but again, as Tawnie said, is it okay for me to talk to my friends, my sister, my siblings, or anybody like that? Why would it be okay for me to say that to myself? So that's a process, guys, that we have to learn. Again, in honor of today being World Mental Health Day, we have to learn how to better help ourselves with the words that we're saying to ourselves, because we feed ourselves with the words. Our words are so powerful. So let's figure out better ways to be kinder to ourselves, figure out better ways to love ourselves in this process of this transition with emotional roller coasters, and just whole life of the unknown. And that's what it is, guys. We have to learn how to do that.
Beautiful. Beautifully put. I just loved it. And it was perfect timing.
Yes.
Robin, just getting up out of bed, getting ready is an accomplishment. Absolutely. And it is a big deal. Celebrate all of those things. And that's definitely been helpful. Also, if you guys are not in our channel, we share the live in there. Like today, I know we're on at a different time. It's cool. We're catching a couple of guys that we don't usually. And we've also been doing a gratitude challenge because there is science behind practicing gratitude. So these are just little prompt suggestions, whatever can get it to help you to just take some time and be mindful. And like life is a journey. And if you can just take a couple moments in your day to just be what you have, because I think, especially in the healing working on, and I don't know if anyone else can be like, I just feel like a home improvement thing, nothing house and things need remodeling constantly, turn it on. So take a moment and like look back just to see how far you have come, because I promise you are.
Absolutely. We are going to end on that. I'm going to say something real quick. To struggling with so if you have a question or you have a video or need help, I need you to send me a message somehow. If you're not going to send me on a social media platform, what is this, Instagram platform, thank you. Tawnie put it on there for you to send a message so I can get information to make sure I get you the video and assist you in this recovery journey however I can. But guys, we love you. Love you guys. We will see y'all next week.
Bye.